If you need any Xbox or PlayStation codes or anything gaming related, check the referral links down in the description. They'll take you to g2a.com. They already have a discount on most of their goods already, and with the code CHES at checkout, you can get yourself an extra 3% off as well.
Hey guys, how's it going? Ches back again and welcome to episode number 22 of the Inter Milan career mode here on FIFA 15. We start with an away game against Sampdoria today. Obviously we're in great goal scoring form after the complete demolition of Liverpool over two legs in yesterday's video. Sampdoria not having the best of seasons so far. They actually haven't lost that many games, only 8 so far this season, which is the same as some of the sides that are sat kind of mid-table-ish, but they've drawn 15 games so far, and that's why they find themselves down in the relegation zone. So they need a result here against us, and obviously we needed a result to try and get ourselves up into those Champions League spots. Still sat just outside in 4th. Of course, a reminder, only the top 3 get Champions League football in the Italian domestic leagues, rather than obviously the top 4 in England, and I think it's 4 in Germany as well. But in Italy, just the 3. So obviously we need to make sure that we can get ourselves into those top positions to get into the most elite competition in European football. Of course, we're still involved in the Europa League right now. We'll actually have some Europa League football later on in today's episode. But we're struggling to get the ball away here, and eventually they do find the ball going into the back of the net, Sampdoria, not without a stroke of luck. You see there, it deflects off the defender's heels as he goes to block it. Better angle for it here. Handanovic commits himself down low to his left, and unfortunately the deflection takes it over the top of him. So not the best of starts. They kind of got themselves gifted a goal here, but then they were going to gift me one. Not the obvious thing to do. Throw in from the left-hand side. Defender ignores it, lets it hit him on the back, and then Palacio just tidily slots it into the bottom corner. It was a FIFA goal, and that sort of thing would never ever happen in real life. In fact, it wouldn't even happen in real life on a Sunday league game, let alone in the top leagues in Europe. But still, that's apparently how things go down on FIFA this year. It happens so many times. Players just ignore the ball when it's thrown into them. I don't really understand why or how it could be that poorly coded, but regardless, well, that made it 1-1, and then this made it 2-1. Palacio almost getting a second. Keeps did really well to not only tip the ball high and get it away from goal, but get it around the post as well from that central area, and it was headed wide, but unfortunately for him it dropped straight to Freddie Guarin, and then just on the stroke of half time, Palacio does get his second goal. Shot with the outside the right foot into the back of the net across the goalkeeper. 45 minutes played and made it Inter Milan 3, Sampdoria 1, and like we say, we've been scoring goals freely in the past episode or two, scoring loads of goals against Liverpool, obviously conceding a few goals against Liverpool as well. So not only are we scoring a lot at one end, we're also letting in a few at the other. But here only 1 against Sampdoria so far and 4 at the right end. Mateo Kovacic showing great feet there to skip past the defender after the ball was played through another defender's legs. Nice little pass through the defender's legs there, skips past the first challenge and then ducks the ball underneath the goalkeeper to make it 4-1. And then 10 minutes from time, we're going to go on the attack again. Palacio looking for a hat-trick, obviously. Scored 2 so far. Cavander turns inside here. Actually, there's the man on the edge of the box. It's Freddie Guarin. Again, arriving late at the right time, right place. One-touch finish into the back of the net. He's done that so many times for us so far this season, and it's a trait that I really do enjoy playing with him, or it's a trait that makes me really enjoy playing with him, because this is the sort of goal I like to score more often than not. Freddie Guarin scores very, very good goals for us, whether they be those kind of one-touch finishes or a couple of long shots we've scored with him so far this season. Been very impressive. Yet to score a long free kick with him, but we have come close by hitting the bar a couple of times, so hopefully we'll be able to score one before we're done with this series. Obviously we're going to be doing more than one season here at Inter Milan, so there's still plenty of time to get a goal like that. But as you can see, we're in the quarterfinals now of the Europa League. The first leg here against Galatasaray, away from home, and they're starting a very strong side in a 4-3-3 formation, was it? No, it was a 4-2-3-1 with Wesley Sneijder sat behind Burak Yilmaz, who obviously we have currently in the Football Manager series on loan at Nottingham Forest. So hoping that he won't score as many goals for Galatasaray here as he has been for us on FM. And obviously, as we just recently played the game against Sampdoria, this was midweek, so I had to play a few rotation players. Although pleased to see that Paulo Dybala is back from injury, back into the starting lineup and playing up top alongside new signing Marco Sal. So I was hoping that Dybala could kind of come back with a bang. But Galatasaray, after Sampdoria just kind of fell apart after they went 1-0 up, Galatasaray were going to prove to be an extremely tough test. Been a few calls in the comments for me to step it up to legendary, but I'm having to work extremely hard for the results I'm getting at the minute. Yes, we've been scoring a lot of goals, but I've been playing some really good football. It's only because my, FIFA form kind of dips and kind of peaks and valleys. You'll play really good FIFA, and then a few days later, when you come to record the next episode, you'll actually play really terribly. I just happen to be in a good vein of form right now. It's the only reason why I've been scoring a few goals recently. But unfortunately, we concede an early goal again here, and I think that went down as a Handanovic's own goal. I'm not sure whether the initial shot was off target, but he saved it with his arm. It came back, hit him on the side, and then went over the line. So I guess technically it is an own goal if the initial shot was off target, or the fact that he saved it but then knocked it back onto himself to score an own goal. I'm not really too sure how the ruling works, but we come close to an equaliser there. I think that was Brozovic actually having the snapshot that flew past the post. But Galatasaray, like I say, were a much tougher test here than Sampdoria had been. But we're going to try and catch them on the counter-attack here. Like I say, Dybala back in the starting lineup, and obviously Marco Sal alongside him. So we've got a lot of pace up top. Sal's just going to use that here to get around the outside of Kaya, the defender. Then a lovely step over to turn inside, and then obviously always going to finish in that situation. Almost took a little bit too long though. I kind of made myself a little bit nervous. I was like, right, just settle yourself and make sure you get it in the back of the net. I ended up taking it an extra couple of paces too far, and I thought actually the goalkeeper was going to come out and smother it, but we were able to sneak it past him. So we make it 1-1. Then we're almost at half-time here. Lucas Podolski with a shot at the outside of his left foot, but Fernando Muslera makes a good save, and unfortunately Alex Tellez gets there ahead of my man, pushing to try and get to the rebound. We're into the second half though. Dybala's going to try and score, obviously on his left foot, because he is much stronger on that left-hand side, but unfortunately, again, Fernando Muslera is on hand with a decent save, and then Gala were going to have a chance of their own. Wesley Sneijder playing a beautiful ball through to Burak Yilmaz. Somehow manages to outmuscle the defender here. Davide Santon comes across, can't quite get there. Campagnaro can't beat the ball, or can't beat Sneijder to the ball, but Wesley, unfortunately for them, does have his snapshot go just wide. Didn't quite hit it as cleanly as we know Wesley Sneijder can strike a ball, and unfortunately for them, wide of the target. But Sal's in a very similar position here to when he scored his first goal, but this time tried to scoop it with the outside of his left. Not really too sure why, because I told him to do a finesse shot to get it into that bottom corner, and unfortunately his in-game self decided to scoop it with the outside of his left and finesse it that way, rather than with the instep of his right foot. And then Dybala again with another similar shot to the one he had earlier on, but another similar save to the one that Muslera pulled out earlier on in the second half. So we were only able to get a 1-1 draw away from home against Galatasaray, and that doesn't necessarily leave us in a strong position for the second leg. Obviously, we are kind of almost favourites, you might say, having gotten an away goal in the first leg, but still, it's not the best of situations to be in. Galatasaray are a very good side, and they will most definitely cause us some problems when it comes to the second leg. But we're back in Serie A now against another side that are down the bottom of the table. Parma is 17th, Sampdoria were 18th, but actually Parma, despite being above Sampdoria, have lost almost twice as many games as the other side, so I wasn't too sure what to expect from this one. Obviously Sampdoria, like we say, hadn't lost too many games, but just rolled over, and I was able to completely annihilate them. Whereas in this one, I wasn't sure what to expect from Parma, because they do have some very good players in this starting lineup. Obviously, Varela out wide and Jonathan Biabiani on the right-hand side are good pacey wingers. Then you've got Lodi and Antonio Nocerino obviously in the middle, who used to be at AC Milan. He's actually a very good centre mid. We're going to try and catch them on the counter-attack here early on from a corner that they had. Rodrigo Palacio shows good pace here to get around the outside of the defenders, just trying to make sure that we can get the better of them when it comes to pace. Squaring the ball across, Mauro Icardi's there, pinpoint pass from Rodrigo Palacio, and unfortunately for Parma, we find ourselves 1-0 up inside the opening few minutes, and he makes a change for us to actually score in the opening few minutes rather than concede in the opening few minutes of this particular episode. But regardless, Kovacic is going to try and thread through Freddie Guarin here, trying to look for a second goal, but unfortunately Icardi can't quite beat the man to the rebound, and they do get it away, Parma. Vidic so had a little bit too much of not having much to do defensively, so decided to push forward and get involved in the attacking sense there. Nice ball by Guarin into Kovacic, plays the 1-2, going to have the shot, Freddie, but again Morante makes a very good save to keep us out. So into the second half we went, and the scoreline was still 1-0. Parma came to life in the second half, as you can see here, playing through Varela, and a decent shot, very well saved by Handanovic, and then the follow-up shot by Galoppa was actually well fended off by Juan Jesus on the line to make sure that we managed to keep our clean sheet intact. Mauro Icardi cutting down the right-hand side, though, turns his side really nicely. Decent shot, drops to Palacio. Surely that had to be 2-0, but unfortunately off the bar and down over the wrong side of the line and out, and we stay 1-0 in front with 30 minutes to go. Nocerino, the previously mentioned former AC Milan player, slots through Lodi. He slots through Varela, and that is 1-1. A nicely weighted pass all the way through my defensive line. A decent first-time hit as well. That makes it 1-1. So less than 10 minutes to go. Question was, were we going to be able to sneak ourselves a winner? No idea what the defender was doing here. Completely no idea what he was doing. Icardi steals it off him, then turns inside, ducks inside the second defender. But the finish was absolutely woeful. Incredibly poor finish there, unfortunately. We end with a 1-1 draw. As you can tell from the stats, probably a fair result. Both sides actually had a lot of chances, and Parma dominated possession, but we were able to come away with a point at home. So I would have preferred all three, but unfortunately we have to settle for one, and you'll see in a second what that does to the league table. Had we gotten all three against Parma, we would have moved up into third in the table and been able to get ourselves up above Roma on goal difference. Unfortunately, though, for now, we sit just 2 points behind them. There are 9 games left to go in the Serie A season, and we are only 7 points off top and 2 points away from the Champions League spot. So I'm still confident of getting ourselves a Champions League spot this season, but we'll have to wait and see whether we can actually challenge for the title or not. There are a few games left to go, and a total of, 3 times 9, 27 points left available, and we are 7 points behind. So we just need to outscore Milan by 20 points, and we'll be able to get ourselves up to the top of the table. But it's going to be a tough ask to win the league, I think, but we should be able to get ourselves into the Champions League should I continue to play some decent football, although we will have to see teams off a lot better than we did against Parma in that third and final game. But for now, that's going to bring today's episode to a close. So thank you very much for watching. Drop the video a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you haven't already, check the channel page for anything you may have missed over the past few days, and I will see you next time.